Welcome to today's lesson aimed at the 9th year basic education students. Our lesson today is going to be about entertainment. So, do you know what we mean by this word? We're going to talk about the activities we do in our free time. They're sometimes called hobbies, free time, or leisure time activities. We do them to relax, to have fun, to have a good time, or to entertain ourselves. That's why what we do in our free time is called entertainment. How do you entertain yourself? Think about Sundays, the holidays. What do you do in your free time then? Obviously, there's a lot you can think of. Playing football, listening to music, or playing video games. Let's watch these pictures to show you more activities you can do during your spare time. Okay. Let's look at picture number 1. So, if you like animals performing, you can go to a circus. There, you can find acrobats, clowns, and animal shows. Let's move to the next picture. If you like wild animals, why don't you go to the zoo? There you can find your favorite animals. Now, if you like watching and listening to your favorite singers, why don't you go to concerts, especially during summertime? Let's move to the next picture. Some people like cycling. Cycling is not only a good means of entertainment, but it also helps you keep fit and healthy. Now, let's look at this picture. Can you guess what it is? Okay, I'm going to give you some hints. In this place, people can have fun, they can play games and go on rides. Did you guess? It's a fun fair. Okay, let's move to the next picture. Let's describe this picture. Here there are 3 people. 2 people are having lunch or dinner and a waiter in the middle. So where are they? They're at a restaurant. People enjoy exotic foods when they go to restaurants. So eating out is a good means of entertainment. Let's move to the next picture. Riding horses is also a good means of entertainment. Now, what about this picture? Do you know this animal? It's a seal. A seal is an animal that lives in or near the sea. What is the animal doing here? I think it's a seal show. Do you like seal shows? If you like the sea, you can surf. Surfing is a good means of entertainment. can also swim. Swimming can be in the sea or in a swimming pool. So it's an indoor or outdoor activity. Let's move to the next picture. Look at those two people. They're walking, enjoying themselves. They're enjoying the beautiful scene here. So if you want to get rid of stress, walking for pleasure is a good means to get rid of it. Okay. Now, if you're fond of computers and internet, surfing the net is a good way to entertain yourself. You can listen to music, chatting with friends, and even making friends on the internet. You can also play games. Playing games is not only on the internet. You can play video games like PlayStation, for example. Look here, this woman is enjoying herself with her daughter. They seem to have fun together. Now, and if you don't want to go out and you prefer to stay at home, what about watching TV? You can watch a nice movie or your favorite program, for example. Okay, now let's summarize what we said in the following spidergram. Okay, going out with friends is a means of entertainment. We can go out to restaurants, to the theater, to the zoo, or even to the cinema. Cycling is a good means of entertainment. Remember, we said earlier that cycling is not only a good means of entertainment, but also it helps you keep fit and healthy. Now, swimming is also a way to entertain yourself. As we said earlier, swimming is an indoor and at the same time outdoor activity. If we swim in the sea, it's an outdoor activity. And if we swim in the swimming pool, we call this an indoor activity. Good. Let's move to the next. Playing football. Playing football is also a good means of entertainment. Boys like it and enjoy it very much. Let's move to the next one. Playing video games. As we said earlier, we don't just play video games, we can play games on the computer. Okay, now watching TV. While watching TV, we can enjoy watching our favorite cartoons, TV programs, and films. So, watching films. Do you like watching films? Which film types do you prefer? Do you like romance, science fiction, horror, or thriller movies? Okay, to have an idea about this, let's look here. Now, we're going to look at the visuals and identify the film types. Okay, let's start with picture number 1. As you see here, it seems an accident. A car is smashing into a car is smashing into a helicopter. Okay, where do we see such violent scenes? In action films, of course. Action films are full of violence, special effects, and suspense. Let's move to film number 2. Okay. Obviously, it's a romance. Do you know any romantic film? The Titanic, for example. Romantic films are full of emotions, feelings, and love. Let's move to film type number 3, sorry. Okay. What do we see here? Look carefully. It's a flying saucer. Okay. Do you see flying saucers in your everyday life? No, of course. It's something unreal. It doesn't happen in our everyday life. So where do we see such unreal scenes? In science fiction films, of course. Science fiction films deal with space exploration and special effects, some things that are not true and that we don't see in our everyday life. Okay, let's move to the next film type. Okay, let's look at this picture. This is a lady. She seems scared and terrified. There's something terrifying her. I think this picture describes a horror film or thrillers. Thrillers are very frightening. Children and women don't like it, I think. Okay, let's move to picture number, the next one, sorry. Look here. As we see here, there are men riding horses. They're wearing special clothes, hats. Where do we see such people? Okay, we see such people in westerns or cowboy films. Some people like cowboy films. Okay, let's move to the next one. Do you know this picture? Are you familiar with it? Okay, it's The Lion King. It's a famous cartoon. Do you like cartoons? Many people like it, not only children, even adults like it. The Lion King is an animated cartoon. Okay, next. Oh, who's this person? It's Mr. Bean. He's a funny actor. Where does Mr. Bean perform? Does he perform in horror movies or in action films? No, I think he's a comedian, so we find him in comedies. Okay, now we're going to read the dialogue between Alex and Vicky. Where do they suggest to go? So let's have a look at the dialogue first. Alex: Hey Vicky, what are you doing this weekend? Vicky: Me? I'm helping my dad at home. My cousins are coming to stay with us. Alex: But that's not all the weekend. I'm going to the cinema on Friday night. What about going with me? Vicky: I can't. My cousin's plane will arrive at 6 o'clock and we'll pick them up. Alex: Why don't we go when you get back? The film doesn't start until 10 o'clock. Vicky: Okay, I'll ask my mom. So, after reading this dialogue, what do you think the people here suggest to go? As we see here, Alex suggests to go to the cinema with Vicky. At first, Vicky refuses because she receives some guests. But later on, when Alex suggests to go after they come back from the airport, she accepts. So, what do the underlined sentences express? Let's go back to the underlined sentences. What about going with me? Why don't we go? What do these underlined sentences express? Do you know? As we said earlier, Alex suggests us to go to the cinema. So, these two sentences express suggestion. Now, we understand from the dialogue that the speakers are giving each other ideas as to what to do or not to do. We call this giving suggestions or suggesting. We can express suggestions by saying, let me give you some examples and some rules. What about going with me? What about plus going? Going is a verb in the ing form, and the sentence here ends with a question mark. Let me broaden your mind with some examples. What about watching a movie? The speaker here is suggesting to watch a movie. We use what about plus verb in the ing, and the sentence ends with a question mark, of course. Let's move to the next sentence. Why don't we go when you have time? Here Alex suggests us to go to the cinema when they have time or after coming back from the airports. So, why don't we plus, okay? Why don't plus subject. The subject here is we, plus verb. The verb is go. The verb should be in the infinitive without to. And the sentence ends with a question mark, of course. Why don't we go when you have time? Or why don't we watch a nice movie, for example? Let's move to example number 3. Let's watch this film together. Here the speaker is again suggesting to watch a film. The rule: let's plus infinitive without to. Let's watch. Watch is a verb in the infinitive without to, and the sentence ends with an exclamation mark, or it can end with a full stop. I suggest we stay home tonight. The speaker here is suggesting to stay home tonight. So, the rule: I suggest plus subject. We here is the subject plus verb, stay. Stay is the verb here, okay? Let's move to the last one. Shall we go to a restaurant tonight? The speaker here is suggesting to go to a restaurant. What did we use here? Shall plus subject, we is a subject, plus verb, go, shall we go, and the sentence ends with a question mark. Now, for more practice, we're going to read bubbles and make the appropriate suggestions. Let's start with the first ones. Here are two people, a boy and a girl. Let's see what the boy says. I'm interested in adventures. They're full of action. What do you think the girl is going to suggest here? Will she suggest to go to the cinema or to watch an action film? Let's see. Why don't, let's, what about you watch an action film? So here we have three alternatives and we're going to choose one. Can we say, why don't you watch an action film? Yes, it can be, because as we said earlier, why don't plus subject plus verb in the infinitive without to. So it can be the correct answer. Let's move to the next one. Let's you watch an action film? I don't think so, because as we said earlier, let's plus verb, and here we have a subject which is you. Now, can we say, what about you watch an action film? No, of course, because we said earlier that what about plus verb in the ing. So what is the correct answer? It's why don't you watch an action film? Okay, let's move to the next. Here are two girls. Okay, let's see the first girl. What does she express? What does she want to say? There's nothing on television tonight. I don't know what to do. This girl seems very bored. What will girl number 2 suggest? What about shall we play cards then? Okay, what about play cards then? Can we say what about play cards then? I don't think so, because as we said earlier, what about plus verb in the ing, and the verb we have here is infinitive without to. Let's play cards then. I think it can be the correct answer. Let's plus verb in the infinitive without to. Shall we play cards then? It can be the correct answer. But be careful, what do we have here? A question mark. Can we say, let's play cards then? We said earlier that when we use let's, the sentence should end with an exclamation mark or a full stop. So, the correct answer is, shall we play cards then? Okay, let's move to the last one. Here are two girls. Girl number 1. I don't like horror films. They frighten me. This girl doesn't like horror films. What will her friend suggest then? Shall, let's, why don't watch a comedy then? Can we say, shall watch a comedy then? I don't think so, because if we use shall, we have to use a subject, shall we, and here we don't have a subject. Let's watch a comedy then. Okay, it can be the correct answer because we don't have a subject, and with let's we don't use a subject, and the sentence ends with an exclamation mark. So it can be the correct answer. Let's see the next one. Why don't watch a comedy then? We cannot use why don't, because if we write why don't or use why don't, it should be followed by a subject. So the correct answer is let's. Okay. Okay, now these, as we said here, these people, they are talking about films and film types. So now we're going to watch a sequence and you're going to identify the film types. Okay, hope you will enjoy the sequence.
On a knee, the dance.
Where have all the good men gone and where are all gone? Where's the streetwise refuse?
Okay, as you see here, there's a princess and she's dancing with the prince.
Since when do you dance?
Fiona, my dearest.
It seems a
There's one thing I
party.
know is that love is full of surprises.
Late at night, I toss and
Here is
I
a singer.
turn and I dream of what I need.
Hit it!
Okay, people are enjoying themselves here. They're singing. Look at this person. Who is it? Do you know him? Oh, we see some action here. People are fighting.
Not the gumdrop button.
Okay. He seems a good dancer. Look here, there is a queen and a king. And people are fighting. Maybe there's a war, don't know. It seems that this person wants to get into the castle. People are enjoying themselves inside the castle and the person is trying to get in. What do you think? Will he get there? Okay. Oh, good. I think he succeeded in getting there. Okay. What do you think? Okay, did you enjoy this sequence? Which type of film are we talking about here? Okay, I think this is a cartoon. It's an animated cartoon. And, okay. And here we see some romance. It's not only a cartoon. It's we find some romance, some action. People are fighting. Okay, now let's watch a summary of this film. Do you know this film? It's the famous Shrek, the famous animated cartoon. Now let's enjoy watching the summary together. Princess Fiona is cursed by a witch. While she's a human during the day, she turns into an ogress by sunset. Prince Charming wants to marry Princess Fiona. He's shocked when he finds out that she has married Shrek the Ogre. So, he decides to take revenge.